Hello, class. My name is Torri Tate. I'm a criminal justice major with a leadership minor here at Torri University, and I came to talk to you about the different leadership styles that took place in the movie Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans is a story of leadership, faithfulness, and taking a chance to achieve greatness regardless of the racial standards that were set during the time. The story is set around a group of Caucasians and African American students who are forced to newly integrate into a newly integrated school. The students must come together to be an example of loyalty for their community. The year is seen through the eyes of the football team, where the man hired to coach the black school is made head coach over the highly white successful white coach. Uh, Both of the leaders try to motivate the team. One of them tries to externally, and the other one tries to internally. The very first leadership struggle the characters faced was when Yost had been replaced by Coach Boone. Like any other individual, one would feel threatened if they feel like they have been replaced. Fortunately, the two were able to make peace with each other, to compromise, and create a working relationship between themselves and the rest of the team. In my opinion, there is no right or wrong style of leadership, but a true leader motivates others to develop those leadership qualities in them and do better. This process required highly effective leadership skills from the beginning of the movie. Leadership was apparently obvious. Coach Herman Boone, who is played by Denzel Washington in the movie, is a very influential person. He is a great example of a strict leader who will not accept defeat while it cannot be found out for sure. Coach Boone can be classified under the trait theory of management that leaders are born. The type of leadership he displays cannot be taught. He is able to bring together two different types of groups to act as one, to respect each other and play together as a coach. He maintains firm control over his players by directly regulating policy, procedures, and behaviors of each player. Boone understands that he is facing a tough year of adversity. He has the responsibility of bringing together a racially diverse squad, which was very hard during the time of when this movie was the true story was originated. Integrating two schools during that time and trying to have a football team with blacks and whites was a very hard thing to do back then because not only are you having a violent sport along with racism, you have to try to teach those students and that is more to it than color. And I will get to you about how the movie ended later on in my speech. But Coach Boone is a very convincing leader with a fierce boot camp coaching style. He believes in making the players rebuild themselves as a team. And the boot camp style that he displayed in this movie was very intense. He had those guys away from home for I think maybe like a week or so, and he made them basically integrate each other over camp. Blacks and whites room together. Blacks and whites sat on the bus together. Blacks and whites had to know key facts about each other throughout the movie. And no, it wasn't an easy job. It was a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of disagreements that went along with trying to integrate not only a school but a football team. In the movie, Coach Boone laid down his ground rules very quickly. He told his players, "You will wear a jacket, shirt, and tie. If you don't have one, buy one. If you can't afford one, then borrow one from your old man. If you don't have an old man, find a drunk on the street and trade him for his." This quote is instantly established his specific leadership style as well as his no nonsense approach to football with his players. During training camp, Coach Boone intentionally pairs the players with those, as I told you, uh, by race. His intentions were to force the players to learn about each other. As you can imagine, this caused a lot of negative feedback and complications amongst the team. Although some players responded with fighting, others were able to create strong bonds and relationships together. Yost does the best job of satisfying the instructions to give the work back to the people. First, when he allows quarterly players to work out their own piece, and second, when he allows one of the team players to give his place on the field to a teammate. As a leader, Boone pushed his team to their limits both mentally and physically. Doing this creates positive relationship between players regardless of their race. He came to the program with a goal and a vision, which involved getting the players concerned about what the team needed to become as opposed to what the community and the school administrators had to say about it. Coach Boone shows power in the movie. He has a large capacity to influence others using his power. He gets the players to conform and forget how to conform and forget how others think they are supposed to act towards each other. The goal specified is also clear in the movie. Coach Boone expects his team to be perfect. He expects them to win state championship. He doesn't expect them to lose games because he knows if he lost a game during this time that he will automatically be fired, and he knew that throughout the movie. Coach Boone displayed tremendous leadership styles throughout this movie. He, like I said earlier, he laid down his rules early and often. In the end, with great leadership skills and proper attitudes, the Titans were able to come up on top. Ultimately, the Titans win a championship game and not only teach themselves that football has no race, but they teach the coaches and the whole town that integration of cultures and races is welcome in their town. The movie ends with death of one of the people 10 years later, which forces everyone to come together once again. I'm sure the players each took with them a very specific lesson of loyalty, working together, and leadership. They were able to learn many valuable lessons under the leadership of Coach Boone and Coach Yost. Not only did Coach Boone, or not the as, not only did the players have to learn how to integrate and work with people of different color because that's something that they were used to doing, but also Coach Boone and Coach Yost had to uh, put some differences aside just so that they can have a successful team and be able to coach a successful team. And I'm pretty sure that was difficult at the time, but during the movie, you can notice that Coach Yosis and Coach Boone's daughters they became friends by spending time with each other, just like coaches does all the time, and their families became pretty cool with each other until it was an incident that happens at Coach Boone's house when I think somebody like threw a brick or something through the window and it kind of scared the girl. But I don't think it deterred their friendship towards the family. But I don't think she ever stayed during the movie at that house again. But like I said, it was a pretty tough situation for them all, but they overcame the adversity and won the championship that year through the midst of all of it. Refs cheating him because of his color. He had to play through that. Refs threatened to give him 15-yard flags if he was arguing a call that was clearly not what was the opposite of what was being called at the time. But Coach Yost and Coach Boone, they got their team ready and they fought through adversity to be able to call themselves champions. And this is one of my all-time favorite movies, so I appreciate the topic. But once again, Torri Tate.